In this interview, I spoke with the ChainGuardians Chief Communications and Marketing Officer, Ben Alquist. And I last had Ben on the channel back in June when we hosted an AMA, and we discussed a lot that they were working on at that time, but he also teased something big that was coming at the end of June, and we now know that that big thing was ChainBoost, their incubator and launchpad partner project that, I'll be honest, I was skeptical of at first, but once I understood the workings and I saw what makes them different from other launchpads, and they do have things that make them different than any other launchpad, I did get a lot more interested in it. So we talked a lot about ChainBoost and how it's connected with ChainGuardians. We covered their progress and their upcoming plans to go full play to earn, so you'll actually be able to exchange your ChainGuardians credits for their governance token. We talked about their Guardian program for the most loyal supporters and some more stuff that you're going to have to watch the video to find out. Now, full disclosure, I am invested in ChainGuardians in both their token and their NFTs. I've been a supporter since January when I released my first video on ChainGuardians, but the goal of this video isn't to encourage anyone to purchase any of this, but just to share the information and what they've got going on, and then you can do whatever you want with that information. As always, do your own damn research. Now, if you like the video and you appreciate the effort that I put into making these videos, feel free to support the channel with a like, a share, a sub with a bell notification. It really does help the channel, and then we can finally push it past that 10K mark where things will really start taking off. 10,000 subs. It's going to be crazy. Now, I've got some really big plans and partnerships that I'm excited about that are coming up. So even though I don't give financial advice, I'm more than happy to give subscription advice. So as your friendly neighborhood crypto YouTuber, I advise you to hit that sub button so you don't miss out. All right, welcome to the channel, everybody. I'm Josh Cross here with Ben Alquist from ChainGuardians. It's good to talk to you again, Ben.
Josh, as always, thanks for having us on the channel, buddy.
Last time we talked, you hinted at big things that were coming, and that ended up being ChainBoost, which is this, well, I guess you can go ahead and explain it.
Sure. ChainBoost is an NFT DeFi-oriented incubator and launchpad protocol focused specifically on connecting quality, promising early projects with quality and proven early project supporters. It's all underpinned by this boost score system, which basically analyzes the quality of engagement and involvement within the ChainGuardians ecosystem, such as things like acquiring CGG, holding CGG, number of ChainGuardians native NFTs, the progression across our platform. And this boost score essentially aims to really dive deep into the engagement and involvement of how into the ChainGuardians ecosystem a user is. And then that boost score basically differentiates and determines the likelihood of being able to get into these ChainBoost oriented campaigns. Some of those include like the Network land pre-sale we just did. We also did Spores Network pre-IDO and Babylon's IDO. I can't necessarily promise anything with with IDOs and pre-IDOs, etc. However, they've all done very well for themselves. Spores topped at like a 34x in like a month and a half. Babylon's did like a 14, 15x. And we're still to be determined with Network, but it's obviously very bullish in community and overall sentiment.
I'm extremely bullish on Network. I even bought myself a piece of large land on that. So I'm excited to build the DeFi Now HQ over there.
That's awesome. You'll have to loop us in on that, man. Maybe we can do some like HQ wars between ChainGuardians and DeFi Now.
HQ, I like the idea. It's a good plan. So yeah, I'll be honest, when I first heard you guys were doing a launch pad, I was like, okay, cool. So this will be, one of many launch pads. But then when I learned about the boost score, I actually really like that concept of using that to incentivize and even gamify people to kind of stick with the projects and not just dump their tokens immediately. And you mentioned some of the things that cover what determines your boost score. Do you want to delve a little bit deeper into that? I know some of it is proprietary, but
Yeah, so the algorithm itself is proprietary, but it's all basically factors and elements of participation in the ChainGuardians ecosystem. As you know, we do a lot of things really good in ChainGuardians, bring utility to NFTs, whether that be the NFT portal between Ethereum mainnet, Binance Smart Chain, Ethereum mainnet, and Polygon. We've done a lot of really unique things there. So NFTs is kind of our bread and butter. So holding ChainGuardians native NFTs obviously increases your boost score. Holding CGG obviously increases your boost score. Same with staking, which will have a significant impact, the most considerable impact of the entire score itself. I'll take this opportunity now to say the goal right now is internal staking by September, sometime in September. So a little bit of alpha there. If you've been around our channels and stuff, you know we've kind of been leaking a little bit about September being the flexible timeline for internal staking. But we also have DeFi opportunities, Polygon, DinoSwap, excuse me, being DinoSwap and QuickSwap. But also there's two really important components that we haven't necessarily touched on. The involvement and progression on our game platforms. So how far you are, how active you are in certain games like our turn-based roleplay game, and then what you do with your allocation after you receive it. And this is really going to be to facilitate long-term sustainable growth of these projects to the best of our ability, because our goal is sustainable growth for quality projects and then connecting promising or proven early project supporters with these opportunities, right? So if you immediately sell your allocation after each vesting period, then your boost score is going to drop. Whereas if you hold on to it, your boost score will raise. So Josh, we talked a little bit earlier about a particular user that doesn't really have a lot of CGG, doesn't have a lot of NFTs, and their real only involvement on our platform, coming from a gamer's background, is playing our RPG. And the way we did the Network land pre-sale is it was a tiered system. So the upper echelon got to go in round 1, then there was a round 2 kind of in the middle echelons, and then we opened it up to everyone. Well, his involvement just from pure playing the video game, from being one of the most diehard gamers we have in our community, actually put him in tier 1. So what that does is it really solidifies the concept and the notion that you don't have to be a whale to be successful and increase your boost score, which is really cool because there's not really another project that's tackling what we're doing, and that's empowerment of the average person, right? There's enough whales in the space, but how do we create opportunities for the average person? And that's one way that we've really defined ourselves, being a launchpad in the space.
Yeah, that's a game changer, I'd say. I see with a lot of other launch pads, and I get comments on my YouTube videos about people that are really upset about not being able to get an allocation because it's often just driven by basically how much you hold, which obviously gives whales a significant advantage. The fact that you can get an allocation just from playing the game is pretty amazing.
Mind-boggling, isn't it? Yeah, I mean, I look at it, everything I do, Josh, I try to take a step back, whether it be for 15, 20 minutes, 30 minutes a day, take a step back, completely take off the executive shoes and look at it from a gamer's or a user's perspective. And I'm just like, so I can play the game, earn income playing the game, which is free, by the way, and then use this income, being CGG, to get involved in these IDO opportunities. I'm just like, that's dope. And so that's Ben speaking, not obviously working on the team. I'm just like, this is really cool. And so I'm really proud of what our team's created. I'm really proud of kind of the opportunities and the different frameworks we put in place to focus on community-oriented initiatives.
So other than the boost score, ChainBoost also has an incubator for the projects that launch. Can you touch in a bit on what kind of things you do to help the projects that launch to be successful, and maybe how you encourage them to launch on your launchpad rather than?
Yeah, absolutely, man. So I think there's a lot of, I say this frequently and I'll say it again on this show. There's a lot of projects, there's a lot of BS in the space where people promise things and it never gets done. People are buying tokens that are pumped from promises, not realities, and nothing ever comes to fruition, right? So one thing we saw at ChainGuardians, and it's no secret that we got hit pretty hard by bearish trends. We're trading at like 90, 95% or 95, 90% down from our all-time high during obviously the huge bearish type of correction that we just had. We looked up and we realized in the entire NFT DeFi space, we have one of the best legal frameworks, best legal teams. We have connections with basically everyone in the space, immersive networking. We have connections with the right people to be able to expand services into marketing, communications, content creation, etc. And we're like, hey, we have the resources to make other projects really successful. And I think one defining element of that's really important in projects of the space is being able to say, hey, we messed up. We messed up along the way, Josh, but we're not ego hungry enough to say, to deny that. And because we messed up and because we have the resources, we took a step back and we're like, we have the real world experience to say, this is what you do, this is what you don't do. We have the resources, we have the team, we have everything in place to be able to make something successful. And so some examples of what the incubation protocol could really look like is legal advisement, sales support with NFT sales, marketing, contriving communication tactics, deep segmented analysis of optimal consumer markets, etc. So really doing a deep dive into the entire profile of a company, and then looking and providing resources and feedback necessary to then scale, adapt, and hopefully get to the point where they can come and launch through our protocol as well. Or if they just want incubation services, it don't matter to us, man. Like our whole goal, our whole pitch, B2B wise with ChainBoost is sustainable growth. And if you talk to anyone that's come through our protocol so far, it's pretty funny because I'm usually up till like 12 or 1 in the morning talking to certain projects. And then our COO will come online. And so like it's basically like 24-hour catered support, customized marketing plans, and deep dive analytics to support kind of the information that we bring to them and say, hey, these are points that you could be doing a little bit better. Let us help you to then connect the vision with the reality to make sure that it comes to fruition.
If you guys are kind of helping on that level, how will you be able to scale that when you have launched many different projects on ChainBoost?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it's more or less about bringing the right people on the bus is kind of like the terminology we use, and that's whether that's PMOs, et cetera. We have a team that we just vastly expanded. Actually, we have a considerable amount of DDers. We call them due diligencers. For sake of simplistic reasoning here, that go through and do a deep dive on each project that comes through our platform. And they basically break it up into a bunch of different categories and then give comprehensive feedback in each area, each purview, each nook and cranny of the project, whether it be social media following, is it botted, is it not botted, what's the tokenomics look like? Let's analyze each member of the team. Is the team real? Is it front facing? What's the overall community sentiment? And so it goes back to networking, right? Say we continue to scale. We have people backlogged wanting to join the team. We have the resources to do it. We'll have the revenue to do it. It's just about putting the puzzle pieces together. And right now we're well within our means to be able to make sure that we continue to offer those resources, that custom catered and specific resources to each project that comes through.
And you guys do KYC the teams, at least the executive members of the teams for all these projects that launch?
Oh yeah. We work very closely with everyone. Yeah. So like obviously we're in communication with the executive staffs of projects that come through. We do, like I said, we do DD on the entire teams. Look for transparency. Our whole goal is like we'll put in the 30 to 40 hours to have that strong infrastructural understanding of each project before we even consider bringing them through our platform. So we're not accepting everyone, Josh. It's the concept of quality versus quantity. For us, it's quality because we want quality supporters investing in quality projects, right? And so we front load a lot of that effort. We front load a lot of the kind of the stress, the ambiguity, to ensure that when we bring something to our platform, we can raise our hand in the air and say, hey, this is a quality project with quality support system in place and quality team to make sure that what they're saying is actually what they're trying to do.
Yeah. And at the same time, everybody who's going to be joining in these launches still needs to do their own due diligence and always make their own decisions,
Yeah, that's why I say like not financial advice. Like at the beginning, I talked about the 34 plus X with Spores, the 15 plus X with Babylon's, Networks, jury's still out to say, but like do your own research. I'm just a guy on the internet, man. Like just because I have a title in front of my name doesn't mean anything. And Josh obviously puts out really good content. Yeah, there's a reason why your audience is so I guess you could say such high engagement rates with you, Josh, is because they trust you, and rightfully so, because you put out quality content, you put the effort into making sure that what you're saying is actually backed with numbers, backed with science, backed with research. But as always, like no matter how trustworthy someone is, always take it upon yourself to further your intellectual knowledge applicable to whatever it is that you're looking at.
Yeah, 100%. Now, ChainBoost has really close connections to ChainGuardians. Can you touch in like exactly what is the difference between the two?
Yeah, so entirely different projects. They're basically sister brother projects, different teams. There are some crossovers. I get the luxury of being on both teams because I like working with both teams. But ChainBoost is its own engine, is its own protocol, and is powered by the ChainGuardians ecosystem, as we talked about with Boost Score. So when you think of it, it's literally like there's a line, and one's completely different than the other. It just so happens that one is actually powered by the sister company as well.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. You guys have been doing a lot of stuff on the ChainGuardians side of things too. I wanted to ask you how things are coming along with the play to earn model with it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so really, really exciting. We've had a lot of feedback. We've had very passionate community members that have done full write-ups on our ecosystem analysis, analyzing different things about our ecosystem. And we've compiled all that, excuse me, feedback along the way. And we're excited to announce that we're going to be focusing on what's called a dev week, where we're going to spend all week talking about comprehensive changes to our ecosystem to optimize user experiences and implement kind of a large scale sweeping ecosystem change that's designed to look at specific economic models using empirical data to deconstruct this is the ROI that you can earn, this is the ROI range you can earn per day. And so have you on the ChainGuardians platform. It's entirely free to play to earn. And then we're looking at different mechanics to really expand the user base and adoption rate. So last time we talked, I think we had like 2,500 monthly active users or something like that. We can officially announce that we are above 17,000 monthly active users on our platform, with over like 130,000 website registrations as well. So you look at our consumer base, you look at our audience as a whole, and it's exponentially exploding, like exploding, not past tense exploded, continuing to explode. Like we just had to up servers and everything across ChainBoost and ChainGuardians. And so that's kind of where we're at with that platform. Users can earn CGC through the RPG, and this is something you can store. There's going to be an economic converter where people can convert CGC to CGGs. So that's your reward loop for the play to earn. And then there's going to be more information in the next about 2 weeks. We're going to do that dev update, and that's going to be really the kind of the holy grail of everything we're doing, ecosystem changes. But we've put a lot of time, energy, and effort to really putting our feet up and saying, this is what we have to do. We've gotten into meetings where we're like, hey, no one take anything personal, because we have to tear apart our ecosystem to make it better, right? And you have to do that. You can't pretend you're the best project. If you just want to pat everyone on the back, you're never going to get anywhere. There's a degree of competitiveness in the market, right? And the reason why there is, Josh, is because the first project to figure out long-term scalable play to earn mechanisms backed with blockchain technology is going to be the next Amazon. We're not there yet. We haven't seen that yet, but we're definitely working to try to be the front runner to make that become a reality.
Yeah, I think I completely agree as far as kind of picking apart and trying to find the weak points in the organization that need to be improved. That's really just kind of how evolution happens.
Yeah, 100%.
So, I had a question, and maybe you can or can't answer this, about the conversion from CGC to CGG of how that kind of dynamic will work.
What's your question?
Oh,
is it just how it will work?
Yeah, because over time the dollar price of CGG is obviously fluctuating a lot, and CGC is, as far as from what I've seen, it's more stable as what you earn in the game. I guess my question kind of leads into, for instance, Axie Infinity, which is play to earn, but in order to get started, you need a couple Axies, and you need like more than $1,000
Axie or scholarship. Yeah. So we can't really promise anything besides that it's basically, we have to stay in a constant state of iteration, because if you don't, you're either A, going to burn through your treasury, or B, your consumers aren't going to be able to earn enough, right? So it's going to be working very closely with our consumers, with the audience, adapting to market conditions, to ensuring that we have somewhat of a projectable type of economic model in place. Now, that said, it's not like we're going to try to skimp out on paying out to consumers. I mean, actually, we pretty much, the whole team's on a consensus that we want to maximize how much we can pay out, because that ties in the user experience. But also there's important things to consider, is how much out, how much in, how do you scale, how do you sustain, right? And so it's being in a constant state of iteration ensures that you're adapting to needs as they become present, whether there be exploitation, which there's not. We've spent a significant amount of money in white hacking and going through the off-chain, on-chain kind of interactions of CGC to CGG. And so it really boils down to, just to be very clear, constant state of iteration to make sure that the experience we offer is A, scalable, sustainable and scalable, but also maximizes how much we can pay out to play to earners, right? Play to earn gamers.
And then you also have the situation like for an Axie where it's expensive to get started to play it, but you guys have the situation where, and I've done this quite a bit, I have a bunch of lieutenants that you can go in and get a free lieutenant every day. And then, put 9 of them together, make a better one and all that stuff.
Yeah, dude, 100%. And so like that's kind of the other cool thing is like you play the RPG, you earn this off-chain token, which can be converted to CGG, but you can also summon these off-chain free characters, basically being the lieutenants, and you fuse them enough, and you can actually create an on-chain NFT through our platform too, which is pretty dope. So I mean, we're creating a lot of like free-to-play elements through our platform, and it is 100% free-to-play, but we're also looking at more things, whether it be adding utility, increasing the ceiling of how much you can earn through holding ChainGuardians native NFTs, but also looking at lowering the price floor for some of these NFTs, not existing NFTs, but new NFTs. We may or may not be in the works of production. We'll see. But the concept there is we've really captivated the blockchain market. We've done a good job at kind of communicating the tech of why we excel in the tech purview. And now it's time for us to really give a lot of tender love and care to those gamers to make sure that we offer easy pathways and segues for gamers to come into our market.
Yeah, and I think that'll be the biggest thing. Whoever can, the gaming industry is absolutely massive. It's insanely huge. And whoever can really start onboarding a significant number of these gamers and make the onboarding process as seamless as possible so they, initially think that they're just playing a really fun game, and then they can, find out even later that they can actually make money doing it.
Dude, your audience is going to think I have like a horror show being filmed. Just for full transparency, my roof is being redone and I have landscapers taking out some trees. So if you're curious about what's actually happening in this room, I promise you it's nothing cryptic.
I was going to say, I hear this chainsaw back there. It's like you're going to be hinting at a new chainsaw guardian. It's going to be a zombie killing guardian.
Saw 3, spoiler. Inspiration, Saw 3.
The last thing I wanted to ask you about is the Guardian program. So you have this program that rewards early token holders for their trust, loyalty, and engagement. Can you touch on that? Because I actually was just looking at the website and I didn't know about that.
Yeah, dude, Guardian program is really cool. It has different tiers, whether it be like soldier, lieutenant, captain, beyond, up to guardian and legendary guardian. And it's based off of right now how basically it'll go live when internal staking goes live. It takes into consideration how much CGG you have locked up, whether that be in DeFi opportunities on Polygon or the internal staking that's going to go live. And it has a bunch of different benefits. Like if you get up to Guardian or Legendary Guardian, we're gonna drop you, like Legendary Guardian, for example, we drop you every single NFT that comes through our platform. You get discounts on exclusive merchandise. You get in-game bonuses and opportunity to attend exclusive events. I'm sure there's a couple more in there. This is off my memory from last time I checked was like a week or two ago, and we just have so much stuff going on. But I mean, it's as simple as you can get involved with the first tier. I think it's 500 CGG locked up or staked. And you get certain things like exclusive. It unlocks like discount codes to our merch line. You get like in-game bonuses and possibly like mining boosts as well. So it's designed to hey, you have these really lucrative DeFi opportunities through staking, but as a bonus, let's get you more engaged, more involved, and gamify the process of actually these more traditional DeFi experiences. So we're really excited about it. That's kind of my baby. When I first joined ChainGuardians, I worked pretty hard on that Guardian program, because we want to offer really cool experiences for supporters, specifically early project supporters, because hey, investing at any altcoin, microcap, when it was at 12 cents, 13 cents, I shouldn't say investing, I'll just say really supporting any project when it's that low is hard, especially when you've seen like a 90% decrease from all-time high. So, now we have things in place to really say, hey, thank you, because it was rough. Let's hug it out. We're moving in the right direction now. Let's hug it out. So
yeah, that's really awesome. And I presume that, having one of these different statuses from doing this also would raise your boost score pretty significantly.
They may or may not run in parallel and may or may not have parallel type of rewards in the future.
Okay, that's cool. All right. Well,
I hate the red tape, dude.
hey, that's how it goes, man. It's cool. I'll wait for the announcement of the announcement.
Of the announcement, yeah.
Of the announcement. Okay, well, cool. Before we wrap up, anything else that you want to share with everybody?
Yeah, so I can't talk specifics about really anything ChainBoost related. What I can say is anyone can KYC on ChainBoost. Doesn't matter country restrictions. So what does matter is if it's an IDO or pre-IDO campaign, the express interest button on each project will not be visible because of country restrictions there. However, if it's an NFT campaign, any country can participate. So please keep that in mind because United States citizens, Canadian citizens are used to not being able to get involved and engage with these campaigns and these launch pads. You can. It just has to be an NFT-oriented campaign. So you can KYC on ChainBoost if you're in any country, right? The other thing is we have 6 confirmed projects for September. 6. So if you're not listening to what Josh is saying about at least checking it out, at least check it out.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's the really cool thing about NFT sales is that they're a totally different thing. So that's awesome. I did not know that. So I'm going to be maybe participating in that.
Maybe participating. There's none right this second, but there will be at least one NFT campaign in September through ChainBoost. So definitely keep a keen eye because we're very active on Twitter too. So you can follow us ChainBoost or Chain_Boost and Chain_Guardian to kind of stay up to date with everything we do.
Cool. Yeah, and I'll have all the links to all of that in the description. As always, be sure to check that out, everybody. Ben, this has been a really cool chat. It's very different times than when we talked last time in June. So it's good to see everything's going so well. I mean, you guys are just exploding with all the progress. It's wild.
Yeah, dude. Hey, it's always such an honor being here. I think the biggest change is I didn't have the ChainGuardians polo last time I was here, so now I can say I'm officially part of the team, right?
There you go. Awesome. Well, thanks, Ben, and we'll talk again soon.
Awesome, Josh. Have a good one, man.